Welcome back to the Graysmith podcast. I'm so excited for you to return to this special 4-part mini-series based on my book, Close Your Eyes, Get Free. Throughout this series, we've been uncovering the power of the subconscious mind and how self-hypnosis can create real change in your life. In the last episode, we explored the science of hypnotherapy, why it works, and how it taps into your subconscious to create change. Today, we're going to take it a step further. We're talking about how to reprogram your subconscious for success so you can finally let go of beliefs that have been holding you back so you can step fully into the life you truly want. So many of our beliefs come from 3 powerful sources. I call them the 3 E's: environment, elders, and entertainment. These shape how we see ourselves and the world, often without us even realizing it. The good news is once you become aware of these influences, you can start rewriting your own story. Most of our beliefs that were created in the subconscious were developed during our childhood, where the 3 E's, environment, elders, and entertainment, reigned supreme in terms of their impact on us, our beliefs around the world, and what we would eventually come to believe about what we were capable of and our place within the world. So let's start with the environment. That would be our surroundings, just where we were born, our family structure, socioeconomic conditions, and cultural customs. They play a significant role in shaping our subconscious programming. So for example, a person growing up in an environment that emphasizes scarcity may develop a deep-seated belief that money is hard to come by, which influences financial habits later on in life. So we want to be able to become aware of those limiting beliefs that were developed just based on where we were born, the environment that we were born into, and choose to double down on and strengthen the things that are really helpful that we picked up from those places, and certainly rewire and rewrite the ones that don't serve us. Many of our daily behaviors, such as our language, etiquette, and even fashion choices, are reflective of the subconscious conditioning we received from our environment in childhood that we came to believe were quote unquote normal. But we can set ourselves free and choose a new normal by reprogramming the subconscious. Next comes the second E in our 3 E's, which is elders. These are the authority figures in our early life, our parents, teachers, guardians. They held immense power in shaping our subconscious minds. Research suggests that 2/3 of our habits come from mimicking authority figures, while 1/3 develop in direct rebellion to them. So for example, if a parent constantly says, "We're just not good at math in this family," a child may internalize this as a lifelong belief, even if they are capable of excelling in that subject, which by far and large, they would be if they put enough time and effort and focus on math. Elders also influence our self-worth, our confidence, our emotional resilience, often unknowingly embedding their own fears and insecurities into the next generation. So that phrase, "do as I say, not as I do," doesn't work. We learn to become who we are by watching the elders around us model behaviors. So even if you had a parent telling you all the time, calm down, but they were a bundle of anxiety and nerves and they were modeling this for you, your little subconscious mind under the age of 7 goes, oh, when grown-ups grow up, this is how they behave. They are stressed out, they are anxious, they are yelling, they are snippy, they're biting their nails, they get worked up on Sunday nights before work on Monday morning. So what we are modeling, our behaviors that we are modeling to the young people around us is what the subconscious is picking up on and saying, oh, that's how we grow up and be a human. Okay, thanks for that blueprint. I will absolutely execute it to a T when I grow up. So it's not what we say, it's what we do. And if we want to help the youngsters around us, it's a great opportunity to take responsibility, rewire our own neural pathways so that we can model the healthiest, happiest, most successful behaviors possible, making it easier for the next generation to do the same. Now, the third E is entertainment. Media, movies, TVs, social media, and advertising also shape our subconscious, often in destructive ways. An example is a Harvard study that found that the introduction of television in Fiji led to a drastic increase in teenage girls developing eating disorders within just a few years. So advertising is crafted to exploit subconscious vulnerabilities often, and can make people feel inadequate so that they seek external validation through purchases. Since the subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and imagined experiences, what we consume in entertainment affects our belief systems. This is why hypnotherapists advise consuming more positive, empowering content to reprogram the subconscious in beneficial ways. So as a mom, I want to point this out. If there's a television show that your kiddo is watching and 99% of the show is exhibiting negative behaviors, so friends being mean to each other, siblings fighting with each other, the child being mischievous, and then the last minute of the show is all of a sudden the quote unquote moral of the story. Now we've all learned from this and move on. That is a terrible show for the child to watch, because their brain and their subconscious just marinated in all the things that are not healthy, that are not adaptive, that will not help them to become the best version of themselves, that will create so much more unnecessary conflict in their lives than if they watched a show where at least 80% of the content was modeling behaviors that will actually help your child. So I use this litmus test when deciding what I let my kids watch, and it means they watch very, very few shows. But I let them watch them as much as they want on Saturdays. So we, Daniel Tiger all day long on Saturdays if they want. But just really be selective, because these shows are written in ways that they can be addictive on purpose, and they are not at all modeling behaviors that will support our kiddos for the long term, and they're going directly into their subconscious minds. So examples of other limiting beliefs that can be formed are beliefs like I'm not good at math, or beliefs like everyone in my family is overweight, I will always be overweight, or money is bad, rich people are bad. Once we start to bring awareness to these beliefs and we recognize, oh, just because I think this doesn't mean it's actually empirically true. Even though I've held this belief forever, even though my parents have held this belief forever, doesn't actually mean it has to represent my truth. Then you can start applying techniques to reprogram these beliefs that are not actually serving you. I'm going to read to you from page 138 in Close Your Eyes, Get Free, and teach you this quick cancel technique that will help you stop those limiting beliefs in their tracks and start rewiring them right away in a very simple, effortless way. So midway down the page on 138, my favorite way to do this is to say or think the words cancel, immediately followed by a thought that moves me in the direction of my desired life. Try it now. Imagine you have the thought, ugh, what was I thinking? I'm so stupid. Then immediately think to yourself or say out loud, cancel, followed by, I'm so happy I've learned this lesson. I'll do better next time. I feel better already. This cancel tool will help you quickly clean your mental slate of all negative thoughts and fill it up with thoughts that are in alignment with the life you desire to create. Now, if you want to amp this up and create an even stronger response, you can wear a little hairband or rubber band on your wrist. And anytime you catch yourself thinking a thought that you know comes from one of these 3 E's that comes from childhood, that is not something that's going to help you develop the life of your dreams, you can snap the rubber band. Now, this isn't meant to be punitive. This is not meant to hurt you. It's just meant to create kind of a Pavlovian response in the body and the brain that when you thought that thought, like, oh, I look so ugly, or oh, I'm so dumb, or oh, I could never do this. Snap, gently, snap. And then replace it with a thought that's actually reflective of the life that you want to build. And you will notice just how quickly, not only do you bring awareness to those unhelpful negative thoughts. Because that's the first step, is just like noticing that you're even thinking that stuff that's not serving you. And then 2, replacing them until those new thoughts, those adaptive thoughts, the healthy thoughts become your new normal. So as your homework assignment for this week, I would love for you to track your thoughts throughout the day. Notice when you have thought something that is not helpful, not beneficial, write it down and immediately do the cancel process, whether you're using the hairband and the rubber band with it or whether you're doing it on its own. Over the course of the week, until our next little episode for this mini series comes out, I want you to be able to look at this list of all of the thoughts you've been thinking that don't serve you, but to feel really proud of the fact that you are actively replacing them. Now, in the beginning, it might feel a little challenging to think of a positive thought in the moment. You might be so conditioned into the negative that finding the replacement thought might take some time. And that's why for your homework assignment, I want you to take the extra effort to write them down so that you can also write down the counter thought. And this gets a little bit more complicated, but I know you can handle it. It still needs to be believable. Now, if you get dressed in an outfit and you look in the mirror and you think to yourself, oh God, I look awful. And you go, cancel, I look beautiful. Is the subconscious really going to buy that? Or is there another thought that is believable, but isn't 180 degrees in the opposite direction? Could it be something like, oh, I really like the color of this shirt, right? You might not in that moment be able to convince yourself that you went from thinking you looked awful to thinking you were this shining, glorious goddess, but you can still find something that's positive that is actually real and true. And as you build this muscle of focusing on what is real and true, but that is also good, then inching yourself closer to, actually, I do look good. Actually, I am really beautiful, can happen authentically and naturally. So we're not always just choosing the exact opposite thought. You can do that, but only if it's believable. And by writing all of these thoughts down, actively choosing a better response, training yourself to do the cancel over time, again, these become your new normal. And I will say this becomes a habit so quickly, I can't even help it now. If I'm in a conversation with a friend and they say something disparaging about themselves or they express a fear out loud of something terrible they're afraid is going to happen in the future, I cannot stop it. And I'll cancel. Like I'll cancel other people's thoughts when I'm out and about with them because I want them to choose a better belief, a better future pacing, a better way of, even when things are coming down the pike and we know they're going to be challenging, there's a lot of different lenses we can choose through which to view what's happening. Let's choose the most supportive one. So it might feel a little like you've got the training wheels on for a couple of days, but once you get this down, cancel will become an incredibly helpful part of your life and your mental training. Now, if you want extra support, you can find the link to my book, Close Your Eyes, Get Free, and our Grace Hypnotherapy app in the description of this episode. Thanks so much for being here with me today, and I will see you in the next one.